Okay, it's Sunday again, and we have another game lined up. Once again, it's Battle Line, which can only mean one thing: either we don't like the other ones, or it is actually a new army I'm playing against, and it is indeed. So this week we're going to be having my Warriors of Chaos with my current list versus Sai's new Demon army, who's going to be trying out. He's already started getting some models together. He's always fancied Daemons, and the new book just seemed like a good chance to get into it. So he'll run you through that. So this is my list. It's 2,500 points. We'll start off with the Demon Prince General, who's level 4 of Nurgle, with all the bells and whistles. A Nurgle Gorbeast Chariot. 7 Trolls with Throg the Troll King, who's actually my Shaggoth, who I found a new use for him. He's just a really appropriate model for the Troll King, so he might actually find a new job as that, because he's certainly not going to be making an appearance as a Shaggoth anytime soon. We've got my Chimera, was just my old Manticore mount for my Chaos Lord, who's never going to see your use again, so he's going to be my permanent Hydra from now, Chimera from now on. We've got 17 Warriors in Nurgle with halberds and a Nurgle BSB. We've got 4 Skull Crushers with a musician, a Hell Cannon, and 5 dogs, and that's it. So we'll have a look at size stuff. Oh, for spells wise, I've got Miasma of Pestilence, Fleshy Abundance, Curse of the Leper, and Stream of Corruption. So that's it. So we'll have a look at size now.
Okay, like Ollie said, started to get some models together. Wanted to do these guys for a while now, and pick these guys up just before Christmas. Found them on eBay, and then they became a real nice Christmas present for my sister. So I'll run you through the army. These are some proxy blood crushers, 4 of them with a standard musician. Then I have a horde of 30 Khorne bloodletters with a herald, and he has the exalted locus of fury to give them hatred. Then over here, my good old Slaughtermaster is proxying as a beast of Nurgle. They look like they could be potentially pretty good chaff at 60 points for a single model. They have a fairly reasonable stat line, so they can hunt small war machines, and they can even take out other chaff if needs be. And they're not stupid, and have a fairly average leadership. So they could be useful. Then behind that we have a Cannon of Khorne. Then my Vermin Lord is playing Keeper of Secrets today. He will be a level 4 Shadow. We'll go through those spells in a bit. I generated up a 4 Chaos Gifts. Basically got Skill Swallower, which is basically you kill a character in combat, you get +1 to any one of your stats as you please. Then I got the Impact Hit one. I got the 2-up ward versus the first wound, which my Herald also got. And the final one, what was the final one I got? Was Impact Hits. I can't quite remember off the top of my head. Always Strikes First, that's the one, yeah. Which is pretty handy, a nice combo with Skill Swallower as well. Although Ollie's characters are a bit tooled up, so I don't know whether that will be getting particularly much use here. Then we got another Beast of Nurgle. Golf Egg Maneater is proxied there. And then we have the Rotflies. Interesting looking unit, who we haven't seen before. Basically, they have the hover special rule, so that's pretty nice. So essentially it's everything with fly, except they can't march, which is fair enough, because those guys marching 20 inches across the board would be pretty dirty. So that's the army. 2,500 on the nose. So we rolled to see who goes first. even with his +1. Unfortunately, Ollie lost. So we'll see you at the end of Demons of Chaos Turn 1. Okay, the end of Demons of Chaos Turn 1. Everyone moved up. The Rot Flies decided they were going to get away from the Skull Crushers because even though they're quite nice, they're not Skull Crushers. So they just shifted out of the way. But because of the hover special rule and their flying cavalry, they're actually skirmishers, so they're ridiculously manoeuvrable. I shifted them out of the way. The magic phase came. I rolled a 10, which buffs everyone with the demonic instability rule as ward save by 1. So basically everything now in my army has a 4-up ward, which is rather nice. So that's at least until I roll my next magic phase. So that was pretty good. I got Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma off on Ollie's Skull Crushers, rather nice and high for that. Then he dispelled my Enfeebling Foe on the Demon Prince, which would have knocked off his strength by hopefully 3, turning him into naught but a Empire Swordsman. And then, unfortunately, I rolled Occam's Mind. I went to try and cast Occam's Mind Razor on these guys. I needed the extended version, and I rolled really badly. I got only a 12, which wasn't even enough for the normal version. So I need to work on getting this guy a bit closer to the rest of my army. Should have thought of that when I deployed, really. A fairly successful turn. I didn't manage to kill anyone, which is always nice. So, it's now on to Warriors of Chaos Turn 1.
Okay, it's the end of Warriors of Chaos Turn 1. The Demon Prince moved up to sort of get around the side of these guys. And the charges, I actually attempted to charge the Skull Crushers into the Beast of Noble, hoping to kill him and overrun. But because of their reduced movement, they didn't quite make it. They missed by 1 inch. But they did actually move up 6 instead of 4. So pretty good. Well, they could have marched more, but it was still worth it. Probably a bit closer now, though. So I just moved things to support them. The Noble Warriors moved up. Chimera stayed where it was. The Trolls moved up. The Chariot moved up, and that was pretty much it. Magic phase, I rolled 10 dice, maybe 9. I can't remember now. Maybe it was 8. I think it was 8. So I got Channel, and I managed to cast Miasma of Pestilence on my Demon Prince, mainly just to get the lore attribute going, but also keep him a bit safer should the unforeseen happen. Unfortunately, I didn't get off my other 2 spells, which is Curse of the Leper, which I tried to cast on these guys. So I dispelled it, and then I tried to cast Stream of Corruption on them as well, but so I also dispelled that. I just rolled pitifully low. So that didn't happen. And then just for the shooting phase, the Hell Cannon fired at his cannon, hit it, wounded it, did 4 wounds, but because of his random Winds of Magic thing, he actually had +1 to his ward save, and extra rolled a 4 to save it. So it would have died any other day, but so that's already paid off for him. So it's going well for Chaos already. Well, Chaos Demons anyway. And that's it. So it's the end of Warriors of Chaos Turn 1.
Okay, it's the end of Demons of Chaos Turn 2. Lots of cunning manoeuvrings from the pair of us, and everyone's sort of moved up again, getting in. We've got some redirectors in his face. Those Beasts of Nurgle doing pretty nicely. Then the magic phase, I rolled a 7, so it just meant nothing happened special. I managed to get Occam's Mind Razor off on this unit, Melkoth's Miasma on the Demon Prince, lowering everything it does by 3, which was lovely. And that was a pretty successful magic phase. Then in the shooting, unfortunately, I did the classic roll of a 2 and a 2 for the cannon shot, which was pretty damn miserable. you know, like a 1 in was it a 1 in 36 chance of doing that or something like that, which is equates to a 1 in 1 chance for me. Yeah, so I unfortunately failed to do anything to that cannon. Yes. So that was basically the end of my turn, trying to set stuff up. So yeah, it's on to Warriors of Chaos, turn 2.
Okay, it's the end of Warriors of Chaos turn 2. On the charge front, I charge into this beast in Nurgle. I charge the trolls into that beast in Nurgle. I charge the Demon Prince into the flank of the Bloodletters and the chariot into the front of them. Then the Warriors, they moved up a tiny bit, I think. And everything else is pretty much as you see it. Then in the magic phase, I can't remember how many dice I got, but I managed to get Miasma of Pestilence on the Demon Prince, and side dispelled my other spells, which were the Curse of the Leper to increase his toughness, and what was the other one? Attempt to cast Fleshy Abundance on the chariot, just to try and keep it alive a bit longer. So that was that. Then in the shooting phase, the Hell Cannon fired at his cannon and scattered off directly onto his Keeper of Secrets. Wounded him, but luckily he had that the gift that allows him to ignore the first wound on a 2-up. So that one went off, and so he was fine. Then in close combat, the Skull Crushers murdered the beast in Nurgle and overran. The trolls murdered the other beast in Nurgle and reformed. These guys charged in, killed 5 Bloodletters. He obviously issued a challenge with his Herald, which I accepted with my Demon Prince. The Demon Prince issued the challenge and accepted it with the Herald. So I did 1 wound to him. Luckily, he had a 2-up ward against the first wound as well. So he managed to survive the initial fight. The chariot killed, I think, 5 of them. And then the Thunderstomp killed the Herald off, and actually won the combat. So he needed a 3 or less to hold, or for his demonic instability. He failed it and lost another 3 guys. So they're still in combat. And so obviously my Demon Prince took a wound from the Herald as well. He managed to do a wound to him, which is unfortunate. And I didn't manage to get any wounds back from the Thunderstomp. So yeah, so that's the end of that fight. And the end of Warriors of Chaos turn 2. So it's already kicking off pretty big. So we'll have to see what Sai can do in his turn 3.
Okay, it's the end of Chaos turn 3. Basically had to charge in my Blood Crushers, which they did successfully. I charged the Demonettes as well into the Chaos Warriors. Everyone else just sort of swiveled about that could, and then the remainder was locked in combat. The magic phase was cripplingly pitiful. I rolled a 3, which meant I had to select out of either my general or my BSB to take a leadership test, which thankfully I passed with a double 1. Otherwise, I would have been sorely screwed. Yeah, with that, it gave me 3 dice to basically try and Occam's Mind Razor something, which I tried to do the Blood Crushers, but yeah, I just rolled very, very low. I needed an above average roll to get that. Just the magic phase deserted me when I most needed it. And then yeah, that sort of took its toll, as you can see on the unit, as the Demon Prince just turned around and absolutely just wrecked the units. So essentially, I've lost quite what looks like nearly a third of my army to this combat, which is pretty harsh, all because of a very, very stupid placing of my models. Because I thought I just managed to get enough distance in that he wouldn't be able to attack the flank of my demons. So it was then with utter disgust at my own inability to place correctly that we made the measurement and it was exactly 3 inches from the side to side. So yeah, that kind of buggered me up. So he could slot his dude in there perfectly and do what he's doing. So yeah, that was a bit of my stupidity there. So that was quite annoying. The magic phase also hurt, because with that I was reasonably confident I could put some hurt on that demon prince with Occam's Mind Razor. And any wounds that I did put on him, basically Ollie was saving like a boss. So when he starts doing that, it's time to start the computer up and get Star Wars brewing. But we shall play, because then things happened over this side of the battlefield that gave me hope. The Demonettes, even though they rolled really poorly, they killed a couple of Chaos Warriors. However, the Chaos Warriors rolled really poorly as well, and only killed 1 in return. And then to compound issues in a challenge, which I was honour bound to issue, and Ollie was honour bound to accept with, my Herald of Slanesh actually ganked his which was pretty impressive, because I managed to get around a pretty decent armour save. So yeah,
the 2-up armour save and a 4-up ward save.
Yeah, that was pretty nice. So they pursued after winning the combat by 6, and Ollie fleeing and caught him, and then just sort of, well, they didn't actually move because they were an inch away from the building. So they are hopefully ready to do things next turn. So yeah, it's going to be a bit sort of it's a bit swings and roundabouts. Over here it's going badly, and over here it's going fairly well. So well, it gives me hope, and we will see what Warriors of Chaos turn 3 brings.
Okay, it's the end of Warriors of Chaos turn 3. Charge wise, I charged the trolls into the bloodletters, and movement wise, I moved the reformed skull crushers, and the Chimera leapt out from behind these the Barn of Destiny to threaten their flank with a breath weapon. And that was pretty much it for movement. Then in the magic phase, rolled pretty low, rolled a double 1 for the first spell I tried to cast, which was the Miasma of Pestilence. So the magic phase was a non-event. Shooting phase, the cannon managed to take out his cannon, getting a dead-on shot. Unfortunately failed his ward save this time, and I did 6 wounds to him. Then also in the breath weapon, got a magic hit against there, hit as many as I possibly could, and actually got quite lucky and killed 10 of them, so that was excellent. So he didn't pay for himself, but he certainly put an dent in that unit. Then in the close combat, it was mainly this one. In fact, it was only this one. So the trolls, the chariot, and the demon prince just slaughtered bloodletters left, right, and centre. Unfortunately, the bloodletters didn't really do much in return. Not actually doing a single wound. In fact, I managed to make some regen saves here. I failed to wound him, and they just didn't bother attacking him. The blood crusher unfortunately failed to wound him as well. So I just annihilated the unit and just reformed. So it's not looking so good for him. That Keeper of Secrets got a lot of work to do. And that's it. So it's the end of my turn 3.
Okay, it's the end of Daemons turn 4. Basically I charged me general in. These guys reformed. I charged the blight drones, the plague drones into the front, because they were pretty doomed anyway. They weren't getting away from anything. In the magic phase I rolled 5, which unfortunately was just enough to deny me the ability to cast 2 spells. So I had to kind of go with just sticking 5 on an Occam's Mind Razor, and I got it off with Irresistible. Rolled Power Drain, lost 2 levels, so I lost Miasma and Occam's. Although I suspect this next round of combat will probably decide whether I need to worry about those spells or not anyway. We duked it out and did a wound apiece. So I was really unfortunate with strength 9 and always strikes first. So even though I was hitting on 5s, the first set of rolls was absolutely abysmal, but then I kind of made up for it. I got 4 hits, then I rolled double 1, so yeah, I only got 2 wounds, one of which I saved. So most unfortunate. So yeah, I need to hope that I do a little bit better next time. So yeah, that is that's kind of the situation. Demonettes are pretty buggered, but yeah, it's now on to Warriors turn 4.
Okay, it's the end of Warriors of Chaos turn. Was it 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, turn 4. Basically, the Demon Prince carried on fighting. I decided not to charge the Gorby's chariot in for the sake of sportsmanship, relatively speaking, and I charged everything else into them for the sake of overkill. But literally, I got charged with a Hell Cannon, who failed his leadership test and rolled a 13 and charged in the flank, which is funny because I was going to charge him in anyway. The Chimera, the Skull Crushers, and the Trolls all charged in. And he challenged with his BSB because he had to. Well, I had to challenge with Throg and he accepted it, should I say. Magic phase, I rolled pitifully low, got 3 dice. I got I got 4 dice, he got 3. He channeled, so we both had 4. I attempted to cast Curse the Leper on myself to give myself plus to toughness, but he managed to dispel it by rolling exactly the same as I did, even with his level 2 Keeper of Secrets. Then in there was no shooting phase, so then in close combat we fought this one, and basically I killed his entire unit and he killed 2 trolls. He put a wound on Throg with his champion, and my guys just destroyed them, well, just because there was a ridiculous amount of attacks, although ironically in the end I only just did enough wounds to kill all of them, and Throg only managed to kill the Herald with his stomp attack. So he jumped on her head. So it was exactly enough to kill them, but they probably would have popped through instability anyway. Hopefully. And not come back in full size. But yeah, so that was a brutal pasting. So, but that's fair enough. And then in this combat, I attacked him, managed to do a single wound, 2 wounds to him. He attacked me first and did a wound to me, so we're both on 2 wounds a pop. But because I actually won the combat by 1, he made his instability test and rolled an 11 and did the remaining couple of wounds to him. So his general popped as well, thus leaving no demons on the board. So a victory to Warriors of Chaos, and a tabling in fact. But like I was saying, it was his first game with demons, never played them before. So, you know, this was going to be a harsh one. Hopefully lessons were learned. Certainly for me, I certainly really like this list. The only demoralising thing for me, I think, is how quickly my warriors died to strength 3 demonettes. That was brutal. So yeah, so a bit gutted about the warriors, especially the BSB dying. That was quite demoralising. But the Demon Prince, once again, performed really well. He got a nice flank charge and killed those Bloodletters. And the Skull Crushers that charged him in the rear, so that was lovely. Chariot did a really good job of holding up the front. By charging in and just refused to die because it only took 1 wound in the whole game, which was lovely. Trolls certainly earned their keep. They charged into the Bloodletters, helped towards the combat res to finish them off, and then charging the Demonettes, which, you know, it's not really a good test of them. But they killed the bloat flies as well, didn't they? The bloat drone
plague
things, plague drones. That's the one. So yeah, they did excellent, and Throg certainly earned his keep. His breath weapon was really good in killing the blight and hurting blight drones, and he stomped the Herald who managed to kill my BSB. So yeah, he got a bit of revenge. In fact, he got a roll of Eye on the Gods. The first time ever I got an Eye on the Gods roll. I think of 2 years of playing Warriors of Chaos, I don't think I've ever actually earned one. It's a 5. It was like +1 ballistic skill or something. Not sure. But it's no demon hood for him just yet. Yeah, so they utterly destroyed them. Hell Cannon was obviously only firing at his cannon, but does what it always does. Loving that charge at the end though. Although I was planning to charge him in anyway, he decided to take the initiative and do it for me. The Chimera obviously didn't do much in this game, but that flame template was amazingly good. So 275 points for 1 flame template. Is it worth it? Hell yeah. Right, so the Skull Crushers, well, they just crush stuff. They didn't really have much effect on the game, although this combat is obviously quite was overkill anyway. So, but I love having them. I think they're a really solid unit, and I shall continue to take them. Dogs didn't do much. I'm a bit worried about dogs because I don't like the idea of them panicking stuff when they die. So, still not sure about those. I do need random drops though, just to have a bit of control over deployment though. So I kind of need them for that, and redirectors on flanks, but I just don't like them near my units. So they must be Nurgle dogs because they smell. Yeah, so man of the match for me is clearly going to be my Demon Prince again. Just love what he does. He killed a great demons, killed a unit of bloodletters, and some skull crushers in his back. We were debating whether he's overpowered, and he probably is. But I'm still going to take him because I love him. I've always loved the model, and I'm stuck by him even when he was rubbish. So you know, I'm going to continue to take him. Anyway, so I really like the trolls. I'm certainly going to be carrying on taking those. I've got 3 more on order, so I'm kind of committed to taking those now. Yeah, but I certainly had fun. Obviously quite a decisive game, happened quite quickly. And the combats were pretty brutal, mostly in my favour unfortunately for Si. Yeah, I'll let him run you through what he thought of his list. But for me, I certainly think Demons of Chaos are in with a shot. They certainly seem like a good army with their high weapon skill and rerolls to hit and all those kind of shenanigans. They're just probably not as easy to play as they may have been in the past. There's certainly a lot of thinking involved with them. Although on initial look, it just looked like a load of monstrous cavalry and hordes charging at me. But there's certainly a lot more thinking involved with them than that. Plus, you've got to factor in the randomness, which makes them quite fun, I think. So yeah, so I'll hand you over to Si, see what he thinks of his army. But certainly for me, I enjoyed playing against them, and I definitely think they could be more powerful once he's developed some tactics and refined his list a bit more. So I'll hand you over to him.
Yeah, that was a great fun game actually. I did really enjoy that. Lots of crazy stuff going on, which I do tend to like. Few disappointments. I was a bit gutted that I whiffed so badly my Keeper of Secrets over there against the Demon Prince. I think it being unbreakable is fucking amazing for it. I think that's what tends to make it a bit better than any. Well, I wouldn't say anything I've got.
I think the fact it's unbreakable is what makes it so powerful. I think everything else is like, fair enough, but unbreakable is what makes it so damn good. Yeah,
I think it would need it in terms of what the rest of the army does.
Yeah.
However,
sorry to interrupt, but I think that given the context of the army, as in I don't have Marauders anymore, I don't really have anything that can be steadfast. He's the new Zinch block. He's there to tank things. So that's what gives me the staying power. I mean, obviously with all the other stuff, it does make him very, very powerful. But you've got to look at him more as that kind of obnoxious block of guys who tank stuff.
Yeah, he's like the sort of 50 Zinch Marauders in a sort of 5 by 10.
Yeah, most armies he's a Phoenix Guard. He's the unstoppable. Well, the block that tanks stuff. Because as we saw with the Warriors, they just evaporate.
Yeah, I mean the Warriors that was pretty shocking because I must admit I didn't.
You rolled bad, didn't you?
I rolled very, very bad for Warriors.
Yeah, you still destroyed them.
Yeah,
in fact, those are the only points you got. They just died in the first round of combat.
Yeah, I mean,
they were Nurgle Warriors as well.
That was pretty shocking. I mean, I love always strikes first on those guys is excellent. However, the trouble with the loci is it's almost like I need a champion there because I have to challenge, and in a Warriors of Chaos army. You don't need a champion because the champions serve no purpose other than they're there to kind of get killed. They're there to take a challenge should there be something even scarier than a tooled up Chaos character.
Yeah.
And to be fair, there's not that much scarier than a tooled up Chaos character. I think if I really wanted to sit and try and spanner his Demon Prince, I'd have to take a Bloodthirster, load it up with 4 lesser gifts and bend it over. But that then limits my army, because I don't have anything for a caster other than maybe a pitiful level 2. Because and I certainly am not going to be able to get Shadow out of that. I mean, that really that limits me a lot. I mean, in 2,500 points, 650 points worth of Lord Choice. Well, that's sort of 350 I'd be allowed to spend on. So I'd have the only way to get a higher than level 2 caster of Shadow would be to take a naked Demon Prince with. I wouldn't be able to do that because I have to mark him. And I believe Slaneshi mark is like 5 points. So
no, Slanesh mark was free, wasn't it?
Yes. So Slanesh mark is free. So yeah, you could have like a level 3 Demon Prince and a bloody Bloodthirster, but that's got cannon bait stenciled all over him. So it's
you couldn't even. You'd have to pay 3,000 points to have a Bloodthirster and a thing, because Bloodthirster is 400 and Demon Prince is 250 base.
Yes. What was I thinking? It was 300. No, it's you're just not gonna. You just can't fit anything in.
You either have magic or you have a Bloodthirster.
Yeah. So what I might do is for next week, I'm very tempted just to make a list with no wizards. Maybe go like try mono corn or something like that. Because obviously then I've got less problems with
you can still say like the blue scribes or something, couldn't you, for a bit of magic support?
Yeah, that's true. The blue scribes
for 81 points, you might as well.
Pretty cheap, yeah. So yeah, I mean there are options. So yeah, it's a bit of a toughie because I mean I think deployment hurt me a bit at the start. The plague drones were a bit kind of off. The Beasts of Nurgle I really like as basically a redirector. They're quite excellent.
Tough.
However, if anyone has, because one thing I was thinking, certainly over there, was if they die due to instability, then it removed. There was I believe there was a big hoo-ha about sort of vampire counts stuff, like undead when they crumble away to nothing, get totally removed. You couldn't reform. Of course, I kind of based a little bit of a plan around that. To try and limit their movement, and of course then when we went and looked it up in the FAQ, I couldn't find reference to it, so the only thing I could find was that they weren't allowed to overrun, which is not much of a problem. So if anyone's got any suggestions as to where that is in the FAQs, then please stick a message down. But other than that, I mean, my biggest mistake was the placement of the blood crushers next to the bloodletters, because that was crucial. There was exactly a 3-inch gap, which just allowed the Demon Prince to get in and complete his charge, which hadn't been my plan. I wanted to scare him off for a turn, so that I could, because I was expecting to get charged by the chariot. I thought I could eat my way through that chariot, get it killed, and then then try and basically bait away the Demon Prince and sort of try and lock it down for a bit. Because my plan centred on I needed to get through the trolls in quick stead. But yeah, however, the one thing I did forget is obviously with no flaming attacks on the bloodletters. They probably would have bounced off hard against those trolls. So in fact, it should have been the Demonettes. I think, like I say, the bit of deployment issues, because obviously he took a troll horde and had and wasn't particularly buffing his Nurgle unit. it sort of worked a bit different to how I was expecting it to go against a sort of Nurgle themed force. So yeah, I think in retrospect I'd be sending the Demon X in against the Trolls with Occam's Mind Razor, and that'd sort them out a nice treat. Although, yeah, this guy is always going to be a problem because there's now anything with flaming attacks, which is obviously my any unit with the flaming banner and my cannon, which now does flaming attacks. He's got a 2-up ward against, so yeah, that's pretty nasty. I mean, yeah, of course the Dragonbane gem is bloody amazing. I mean, he doesn't even need the Dragon Helm. There's obviously another one. So anyone wanting to play against Demons of Chaos, I'd severely advise Dragonbane Gem and the Dragon Helm. And obviously High Elves are going to be laughing all the way to the bank because that cannon is not going to touch a flipping Dragon Prince.
True, yeah.
This side of their new codex. Or the new armies book, sorry.
Well, the cannon's got uses against this army, like it's good against trolls, against Chimera.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, Ollie was pretty sensible to keep that Chimera sort of trapped back behind behind that bloody barn.
It's a tactic I'm good at.
Yeah, I mean, well, that Demon Prince has lived by that barn for practically every game he's ever played in, and until he got the new book. So, yeah, bit of a bit. I was a bit disappointed mainly with some of the luck that I had. My inability to take that bloody cannon out. I mean, when you shoot at something like 3 times and it just does nothing. I mean, the first time I hit it, Ollie saved, so that was fair enough. Because I would have put 4 wounds on it, and yeah, then that would have been nasty. But yeah, just my inability to get it. I mean, rolling 2 2s and then rolling bloody 1 wound. Which, to be fair, had I got the other one, the other 4 would have been enough to finish it, and I would have been happy. But yeah, that's unfortunately the way it is. I mean, I suspect the very next build I take will probably have 2 cannons, because I think 2 cannons is necessary. Certainly for thinning out these blood crushers, skull crushers, because they are a hell of a lot better than blood crushers. I really. Having seen these, I don't particularly rate the Demons version at all. They are, for their points, they are well overcosted compared to these guys. I mean, they are, in every sense, better. Better armor save, better attacks. Yeah, they're just better. I mean, the killing blow, and I don't know. Do they count as having magical attacks as well?
Yeah. Yes, upgrade, but it's ensorcelled weapons.
Oh, you get your ensorcelled weapons. Yeah. Which of course you'd want to take, because anyone sensible building a tournament army is. Well,
the ensorcelled weapons also give you +1 strength now, because they originally, knights were like strength 5 and had ensorcelled weapons as default, but now they're just strength 4 like normal class warriors, and you buy ensorcelled weapons to upgrade them +1 strength.
Yeah, which of course you very definitely want to take that. Yeah,
for 3 points, of course, it's just you're always going to take that.
Yeah, so I mean. Yeah, better armor save and far more attacks. I mean, I think
this combat I didn't even do the stomps of them either.
No, well the attack potential. I mean,
the thumb stomp. Yeah. Actually, yeah, that would have done. They destroyed that unit anyway.
Oh yeah, there's nothing left. But yeah. I got I think sort of points for points. I mean, the skull crushers are just. A head and shoulders better. I mean, so I don't know. I mean, cavalry in my army maybe end up getting relegated to sort of chaff.
How much were that unit of blood crushers?
That would have been about 280 points.
Yeah, okay, not so good now.
No,
So, I mean, this unit was 322.
Yeah.
I like the blight drones, like the plague drones. I think they have a use.
I think they do.
They're not like conventional monstrous cavalry. You can't just charge them in and win. But the ability to charge so far and over things is brilliant.
Yeah, I mean they need to be in a flank. They need to be harrying a flank and doing stuff. So I mean, I'm thinking, I do love the Blood Crusher models, but I almost don't want to bother taking them because, you know,
because they're no good ranked up either. Because if you had a second rank, they're no good because you're only getting the guy on top.
Yeah.
So
they just
really 4's the most you're ever going to take, and
they just don't put out the damage that they should do for the points because Mournfang.
Well, they just don't compared to these.
Well,
you compare them to Demigriffs, then they're pretty good.
Well, yeah, but that's because it's an Empire Knight riding it. You compare it to a Mournfang.
Yeah, of course.
I'd rather
Mournfangs are just ridiculously good anyway.
Yeah. So I think in terms of monstrous cavalry, yeah, I think but I think it's only because the Bloodletter I think the Bloodletter's had a bit of a nerf. Well, it has definitely had a bit of a nerf since the last edition, which I suppose.
Well, you lost on strength.
Yeah.
Although I don't know, but I have a feeling that the old ones had 2 attacks each, the Bloodletters, on the back of the things. Not the actual Bloodletters, but the ones on the back of the Juggernauts had 2 attacks. But then the Juggernaut only had 2 as well, so.
Yeah.
So so it swings around, but so you've lost the strength, but you gain one. So really, it's only the cut in. Oh, they lost 1 point of armour as well, because they had 3 up armour saves, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because the Juggernaut conferred +3 to the armour save.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so they've lost. I think they've just lost too much to be. Well, certainly against a lot of armies, I suppose it'd be pretty good. But
yeah, I think they're good. They're just not as ridiculously simple to use as these, which are charge in and win against pretty much anything. Those are like charge in and maybe win against something.
Yeah, I mean, basically my only tactic against those are pretty much Demon X with Occam's Mind Razor, but that's the sort of answer to pretty much everything in his army.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a tough one. So yeah, I'm gonna have a damn good think as to sort of what I've got to do. I know there's some of the things that seem to work, some of the things that don't. So yeah, expect to see a different army. I haven't actually ordered any sort of odds and sods first. I'm kind of glad I haven't actually, because I think I'm pretty much going to have to sit and have a long think as to sort of what I want to have in my army, rather than sort of just buy a load of stuff that looks cool and then find out rules wise maybe not the greatest of things. But I suspect I think one of my major problems are going to be maintaining a loci buff long enough to actually get in against things like Empire or anything like that, or even Orcs. I mean, as long as I'm not bloody challenging a fucking Orc, buffed up Orc war boss, I'd happily think I'd have a pretty good chance of stomping them. But yeah, it's keeping them alive. So I need to maybe investigate the Exalted Chariot thing, the one that gives like a sort of 6-inch bubble buff to everything, which would be very useful because obviously having that with a couple of units of Bloodletters, all of a sudden you've got a pretty nice unit, and then a couple of heralds in there to maybe bestow.
Well, they can't have 2 buffs. It's always the highest one.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, so you almost sort of want.
But then you could have 2 of those chariots side by side. And at least if one of them dies, he's still got the buff medal.
Well, I almost think what you do is you put the chariot in, you get them the buff for the first round, so they get hatred, and then the chariot disappears off to buff something else, and then you leave the loci on the thing, so you maybe get frenzy. Because then
That's not a bad idea.
Obviously, the hatred has gone, and then you're left with frenzy.
Which one's the highest one? Because it's always the highest one that.
It's the hatred is the exalted one.
Oh right.
And frenzy is so.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, so we've got some things going. So yeah, I'm gonna have a good think. It's a good win for Ollie, very good win. I've got to have a bit of a rethink, but I kind of like Law of Shadow with this army. It looks like it's going to have some potential, so that's probably going to end up staying. I've just got to have a bit of a think how I deal with Matey Boy over here.
Yeah, things I want to change about I still don't like my Demon Prince being a wizard. I just think, well, for a start, I've barely got anything off. It's useful him having it, but the rest of the army kind of loses out on the buffs. And I was just worried that I roll a 6/6 and he gets sucked into the void.
Yeah.
I don't think he really needs the Law of Noble, because I'd never get the Law attribute anyway. I mean, it's nice that it goes off, but it's not something I can rely on.
No.
So I'd rather have a wizard sitting with my units. It's just really hard to have him with a breath weapon and still squeeze in a wizard, because I can't squeeze in a Lord level wizard with him with a breath weapon, which he needs that. So really I need a hero level wizard, but a level 2 is not that great really.
No.
So, but I would like Festus and another wizard, but then I'm like looking at 5 characters in an army where they're like at least 200 points each.
Yeah, man.
I can't even fit 4 heroes in because it goes over the max limit. So.
Yeah, that's just a lot.
I'm still wrestling with that.
Yeah.
So I could just take Festus, which I would like, but that's just not enough magic. It's just 2 spells. I kind of need either the regen one or the Curse of the Leper. So I don't know. So it's still a mystery to me. I'm still trying to figure that one out. But.
Yeah. Well, we've got another week to think about it.
Yeah.
And so we will see you next week.